We hope you're looking forward
I'm
to Kirby's
curious
new
about how
adventure.
much it costs for the upgrade packs for these games. Hopefully it's not way too expensive.
Metroid
Yes.
Prime 4 Beyond
Yes,
will
yes,
have
yes.
both a Nintendo
Here we go.
Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Oh, yep.
In
It's definitely
addition
cleaner.
to standard controls, you can use mouse controls for intuitive gameplay
Wow.
on Switch 2. Plus,
Mouse
you can
controls.
explore the immersive world in 4K,
4K,
at
60
frames
frames,
per second, or
HDR.
enjoy smoother action
What?
in full HD at 120 frames per second. Choose from these two modes, both of which support HDR, based on your preference and playstyle.
Wow. Oh man, that was
Plus,
too short. We need
Pokémon
more.
Legends ZA, which is scheduled to launch later this year, will not only receive a Nintendo Switch version, but a Nintendo
120
Switch 2
frames per second,
edition as well.
1080p in handheld mode.
By
That's
taking advantage
crazy.
of the power of Switch 2,
Metroid Prime 4 looks really clean and sharp. The textures look upgraded. It looks really good. We need to see more though.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will have both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Texture detail is definitely higher here for sure. See more texture detail on the on this right here. This is the Nintendo Switch version right here. And let's see. Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah. Yeah. All right. This is the Switch 1 version. I mean, it already looked great. Definitely more blurry. More jaggy. You can see the jaggies here if you look closely. Switch 2 version. Ooh. No, that's pristine. Wow. Definitely going to be the one to play. Is the Switch 2 edition. Yep. You could see totally more texture detail. You can't even see the texture detail on this tree trunk right here on the Switch version. It's all there, clean, super clean and pristine here on the Switch 2. Wow. Switch 1, Switch 2. Let's play a little bit more. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Beautiful.
In addition to standard controls, you can use mouse controls for intuitive gameplay.
Yeah, we knew they'd have mouse controls. Switch 1 version, Switch 2 version. Definitely a lot cleaner. Definitely a lot cleaner. You can see all the detail in the background. And this is just the footage on YouTube. Okay.
Plus, you can explore the immersive
4K 60 frames per second HDR and handheld mode 1080p 60 frames per second HDR.
world in 4K at 60 frames per second.
And then performance mode 1080p 120 frames per second HDR. Then handheld mode will go down to 720p 120 frames per second. So docked mode has a performance. So docked play has a performance mode that's 1080p 120 frames per second HDR. Interesting. Mouse mode gonna be the best way to play. Yeah, I mean, if you have room to play it on a desk, I would imagine so. I'll have to try it out.
Or enjoy smoother action in full HD at 120 frames per second. Choose
Yeah,
from
so-
these two modes, both of which support HDR, based on your preference and playstyle.
They are
Plus,
showing new
you
parts of
can
the game.
explore the
I don't think we
immersive
saw
world
in
4K at 60 frames per
original
second.
trailer. So this is closer, but it looks less detailed on the Switch. It looks more detailed farther away on the Switch too. That's how you look at the You can see like the tree like has like almost like vein, you know, like roots there, right there. And so you can't see it here very well, because it's too far in. Yeah, definitely. The high resolution textures make a huge difference. If you remember all the streams I've done and the 4K 60 frames uploads of the graphically modded Metroid Prime 2 and 3 and 1 in the past that I've done, you'll know that high resolution 60 frames 4K you know, upgraded textures, they do make a big difference. 1080p 120 frames per second display, that definitely raised the cost with HDR on the, that's better than Steam Deck, guys. The game already looked fantastic, but this,
In addition to standard controls,
this looks
you can use
really
mouse
good. This
controls
looks
for
beautiful.
intuitive gameplay on Switch 2. Plus, you can explore the immersive world in 4K at 60 frames per second, or enjoy smoother action in full HD at 120 frames per second.
Yeah, look at that.
Choose from these two modes, both of which support HDR, based on your preference and playstyle.
Hey, what's up, guys? We have some additional information about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and the Switch 2 edition of the game. After the Nintendo Direct, Nintendo opened up a page on their website, and I'll leave a link in the description. We have to kind of dig through it on their webpage just to get here, and there's a lot of traffic online because it's a really huge event for Nintendo, the biggest in the last 8 years. But they talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games, and there's some interesting details about Metroid Prime 4 here that they didn't really say in the actual trailer very much, but basically because it was too short. But here we have some examples here. They talk about Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for Switch 2 and Tears of the Kingdom, and Kirby and Pokemon. And interesting things we're going to talk about here really quick is that the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom versions, they have improved frame rates and resolution, faster load times, HDR support, and that goes for both of these games. And a lot of these games are basically just the same game, but they're running at higher resolutions with better frame rates. But the interesting thing about Metroid Prime 4 is if you look at the very bottom here, it says Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, release date 2025. Still no date yet. Obviously, it's not a launch game. It's going to be Mario Kart World, which we kind of speculated that it would be, unless Metroid Prime 4 was the actual launch game. They would push Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart World later in the year, but they're doing the opposite, of course, to push more Switch 2 consoles to be sold. But they talk about the upgrade details. It says support for mouse controls using Joy-Con 2 controllers, enhanced resolution, textures, and load time. Then, of course, you can choose between multiple modes, 60 frames per second in 4K resolution in TV mode and 1080p on handheld mode, and a performance mode that runs at 120 frames per second in 1080p and 720p in handheld mode. And then they say down at the bottom here, this actually applies to the console itself, but display compatible with 120 Hz refresh rate required for 120 frames per second in TV mode, 120 frames per second only available in 1080p resolution. Frame rates are capped at 60 frames per second 4K when in docked play. And they did confirm that the Switch 2 will be compatible with VRR. Even if you have games that are running in between 60 to 120 frames per second, VRR will smooth that out, which stands for variable refresh rate. And that will come in handy for other games like Call of Duty that do have more varied frame rates and really high action areas, especially in multiplayer. But I thought that was interesting that Metroid Prime 4, I do believe this is the only game that actually has enhanced textures confirmed in the description of the upgrade details. If you look at the other games here, the Pokemon Legends just has improved performance, higher frame rate, resolution, and Kirby Forgotten Land says visually enhanced with improved frame rate. I'm not sure what that means. It doesn't talk about textures though. And same for Mario Party Jamboree, just visually enhanced with better frame rate, and then Zelda games just improved frame rates and resolution. So Metroid Prime 4 does look like to be the most enhanced version of this Switch 2 edition for the Switch 2. And this is very exciting because, as you could see in the trailer, the textures do make a big difference in the comparisons between the Switch 1 version and the Switch 2 version of Metroid Prime 4. I didn't see too much, of course, in the way of lighting, but when you look at a higher resolution display and HDR, the lighting is automatically improved, and you can totally tell in that footage that the deeper blacks do actually improve the aesthetic and the lighting ambience of Metroid Prime 4. So definitely Metroid Prime 4, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, will be 100% the way to play this game. The only question is going to be the cost of how much it's going to be to upgrade to this version. Games like Metroid Prime 4 are going to have a smaller fan base, smaller audience. So hopefully the price isn't too much to upgrade. Hopefully it's around $10, similar to what PlayStation 5 from PlayStation 4 games are doing. I really hope they don't make this like a near full price to upgrade to the Switch 2 version. It should be like 10 to 15 bucks at the most, I would say. Hopefully, we just have to wait and see. But Nintendo not providing any pricing details for how much it will cost to upgrade to each edition for the Switch 2 is a little worrying, but of course I'm going to be getting this either way. And I did announce on the live react that I will be doing a giveaway for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition and of course for the regular edition for Switch to you guys, my audience, for your support. And just a big thank you for this whole journey we've been on from the beginning, from rumor to now release for Metroid Prime 4 and Switch 2. It's almost like they are going hand in hand here, but it's really exciting. I do think that the Switch 2 Direct was good. I am excited for some of those third-party games like Cyberpunk 2077, Elden Ring, and of course Street Fighter 6, and that new From Software game. So a lot of things to look forward to. There is a Treehouse presentation going on the next 2 days, so maybe we'll be seeing a lot more gameplay of Metroid Prime 4. Or they may decide to just hold that back for later. We'll have to just wait and see. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. And I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day.